Hello everyone, new week on Rose and Carter do the JOB. Singles wrestler day. Bully Boy's pick here, and he's chosen Iceman King Parsons. Did that come from watching of World Class Championship Wrestling?
No, it wasn't because of that, because I don't know. I don't think he's been in any episodes that I've been watching. But
yeah, because you're still quite early on your World Class binge.
I'm very early on it, but it's just I don't know what made me think of him. To be honest, I was trying to think of someone that we probably wouldn't usually do, like someone a bit different. And that's the beauty of these fucking podcasts, isn't it? We just throw any names in there and just see what we come up with. And I thought I didn't think you'd pick him, and I thought I'll give it, do a surprising one. And I've seen him before, like I've seen him, quite a bit before. So I thought, and I always like what I've seen, but I thought we'd go more in depth,
He was born King Bailey Parsons Jr., which you'd think was a gimmick name, wouldn't you? King Parsons.
Yeah.
What's the chances of it actually being his real name? It's a fucking brilliant name. Made for the job, wouldn't it? King Bailey Parsons Jr. He's 70 now. Resident of Fort Worth, Texas. Trained by Nick Kozak. Wrestled 1979 to 2005. So a big chunk. Did quite a lot during his the bulk of his fame sort of thing. Started with Paul Bosch in Houston. So that's quite a big break before you even leave the house, isn't it? It's a big start. And he was off to Don Owens in Portland, where he tagged with Rocky Johnson. Then he went to Rocky Mountain Wrestling. I don't know of those. Then in 82, he was in Crockett, where he tagged with Pork Chop Cash. 83, it was off to World Class. The rest is kind of history from World Class, isn't it? Like that's his. I think World Class and Watts are the main two that he was known for. Yeah, 83 and World Class. Did other bits in Texas as well. Texas All Star Wrestling, Wild West in Texas as well. I think Texas All Star was Gary Hart, and Wild West was sort of like a sort of sidebar to World Class. 87, he was in Watts' UWF, and then we're into the early 90s then, when he was pottering about sort of the bulk of the remainder that was left of the territories, like Herb Abrams UWF, USWA in Dallas, and Global Wrestling Federation that ran Dallas after USWA went. He was Continental Heavyweight Champion. I guess the Continental bit would have been at the time when World Class and the AWA and Continental were all working together. So I'm guessing that was when he was in World Class. Global Wrestling Federation North American Champion, Global Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion with Action Jackson, who I saw wrestling about a month ago on YouTube, on a Facebook Live thing from Texas. Mid-America Tag Team Champion Pork Chop Cash, Pacific Northwest Tag Team Champion, that's Portland, done it with Rocky Johnson. Texas All-Star Tag Team Championship twice with Tiger Conway Jr. We've done matches with him before on here, haven't we?
Yeah.
World Class American Champion, American Tag Team Champion 3 times, once with Brian Adidas and twice with Buck Zumoff, but we won't talk about that fucking idiot. TV Champion 4 times, Texas Champion once, World Class Wrestling Association, that's the World Class World Champion once, 6-man Tag Team Champion with Gordy and Buddy Roberts, Tag Team Champion in World Class with Terry Taylor. So that fucking World Class, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different championships in World Class alone. 1, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 12 different title reigns in World Class. It's fucking impressive, that is. And then PWI 500, he was 69 in the top 500 in 91. That's pretty high. And 249 in 2003. Big gap between the two. But yeah, quite an impressive list of places he's been. And established championships, you know.
Yeah, he was around for a lot longer than I thought he was. You know, like, because obviously we know where his prime was and his peak and that, but like to have the career that he did, I didn't think he'd, you know, been around that long.
Yeah, impressive. Right, what was your first, mate?
My first was 27th of December, 84 against Jack Victory.
Do you know I might have done that? Yeah, that was from Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, go on then.
Right, okay.
There wasn't a lot to this, I thought.
You are?
There wasn't a lot to this. It was primarily
Parsons.
well,
It was what?
primarily Iceman.
It was, wasn't it? we were talking about that, and you were quite right in what you were saying about he's not one for fucking giving his opponent a lot in this one.
Not at all.
Like my first two matches were similar in that sense. And then my third match, he had no fucking option but to give his opponent. So yeah, do you want to go through this one or do you want me to go through? Or?
No, you carry on.
Right, okay, so yeah, so they do a tie up and they get to the ropes. Tie up again. Jack goes for a cheap shot, but it's blocked. And then then they get to the ropes again, cheap shot. But fucking Parsons didn't flinch too much on that one, did he? He just fucking then he pops Jack a couple of times. He's in control, gives him a slam and gets the two count, takes the head, gets shot off, tackle. Jack sleeps. Parsons reverses a hip toss and an arm drag, arm bar, and he's working on the arm a bit. He's working on the arm for a while now, and it's literally fucking all arm work. Jack gets back up, but forced back down. Proper wrench in the arm is King Parsons. Get back up again. Jack forces him to the ropes, whips him off, tackles Jack again. Jack sleeps, ducks down. Parsons leaps over him, gives him a beautiful drop kick. Boom. Then literally just punches him in the fucking face. Doesn't it?
It looked fucking like a shoot to me, that.
It did, didn't it? It was literally like, I even put LOL after the punch in face because it looked like, and we just fucking, right on the schnoz, fucking, then gives him a big headbutt, does a little bit of showing off. Then there's an eye rake by Jack, heat for about half a second.
I've written Jack Victory to the eyes, very brief heat.
Yeah, I've put
even before I've seen it because I just sensed it would be a very short one.
Well, I put eye rake by Jack, heat. Parsons like, fuck it. So he's like, literally, he's like, no, I'm not taking any of that. And then he's back in control pretty fucking quickly. Big backdrop and then a big clothesline for the 3. I mean, I won't say I didn't enjoy it. It was all right, I thought. It was nothing to fucking rave about, but I've seen a lot worse. So
I mean, this goes to show that you don't need to do a great deal in a match for it to be over. I mean, like, primarily it was an armbar, but it was worked well, you know.
It was worked very well, the armbar.
I noticed there was 2 rings, so I'm guessing some kind of battle royal kind of show.
Yeah.
And Carl Fergie's the referee. He's the other cousin of Lawler and Honky Tonk Man.
Right.
Yeah, he's the the alternate third cousin. He wrestled as King Carl Fergie for a while. Right, my first one, also 84. That's as much as I can give you. From World Class versus Super Destroyer number 2.
Okay.
Who's accompanied by Skandar Akbar and Super Destroyer number 1. The Super Destroyers were the Irwins, Bill Irwin and Scott.
Right. Okay.
Which one this is, I couldn't tell you for sure. I don't know which one's one and which one's two. But I know Scott Irwin had more hair than Bill Irwin, like bigger hair, and his hair's sticking out the back of number one. So I'm guessing this one's Bill Irwin, but that's a total guess. David Manning's the referee. Mark Lawrence is the ring announcer. So Iceman straight off with a hammerlock out the lockup. The Destroyer with a drop toe hold, and then Iceman's back in the hammerlock again. Iceman gets bumped. Destroyer hits the ropes, and Iceman does the flip over with the legs thing. I've always liked that. You know, that sort of hip tops with the feet.
Right.
There's got to be what it is, but yeah, I've always liked the look of that. And I like it when the baby face does it, and then a bit later on the villain tries to do it, and he gets fucking booted in the head, doesn't he, or knee dropped or whatever. Arm drag over by the Iceman, and he's got the arm of the Destroyer then. Iceman's back to the corner and cut off. There's a reverse of the whip to the corner post. Up for the monkey flip goes the Destroyer. Over he goes. And then a shitload of punches from the Iceman. Head to the buckle and another huge, fucking massive posting. Like, he hit that corner, like the Destroyer hit the corner post like he had no fucking choice but to hit the corner post. That's how it looked. I'm sure it wasn't, but you know, it was very convincing. But Bill Irwin, if it is Bill Irwin, or even Scott Irwin, but Bill Irwin's fucking brilliant, isn't he? Yeah, huge whip, boom. Elbow off the ropes from the Iceman, gets right high. Iceman Parsons on his elbow, bosh. There's a load of punch exchanges, but Iceman wins that fucker and he gets the most in. Super Destroyer 1 puts Super Destroyer 2's leg on the ropes during a pin, just to get him involved in the match somehow. Iceman ducks the head, sends Super Destroyer in, ducks his head like a backdrop styly, and then gets cut off there with a big boot. There is heat here, like a proper fucking heat, like your general eyes across the ropes and chokey thing going on. Iceman out of nowhere with a sunset flip hope, and then a few chops, a fucking massive pop. This is world class, so he's over as fuck here. Iceman whips the Super Destroyer to the post. He does Super Destroyer moves, and Iceman hits the corner. He whips him again. Up and over goes the Iceman. Slam. Waistlock. Roll up. Super Destroyer 1 is in the ring now and jumps. So it's like, looks like Iceman's going to win, but it turns out to be a DQ because the other teammates there. There was a tag of the Destroyers against Iceman and someone I can't remember.
Yeah, I seen both of them on YouTube, but I didn't pick any of them. But
yeah, no, this was good. There was more to it, more substance to this. Like this one I did first before the Jack Victory one, but yeah, there was more body to them. Those world class matches were quite long as well, weren't they? Because a lot of the shows only had 4 or 5 matches on, so they were long, girthy matches. So this is like 15, 18-minute kind of thing. They're not filled with fucking action. Like people couldn't do an 18-minute match now because they'd die, wouldn't they? They couldn't do that style of wrestling for that long. But you know, this was well timed and there was no hiccups or everything looked really good. Yeah, probably the best out the 4 that I did. Although I like the last one, but the last one, the crowd was dead. I don't know why, but yeah. And then I did Jack Victory second. So what you got now?
I've got 18th of January 85 against Dale VC.
Dale VC was James Earl Wright of the State Patrol.
Yeah. I didn't know that originally until I read the comments like under it, and someone mentioned that. But he looked in incredible shape here in 85. They announced him as Georgia Strongman. So and
Parsons
is
a thing, couldn't it?
You are?
them actual like pulling buses kind of strongmen.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Parsons is over as fuck as well. Like crowd when he's
Where's this from? Sorry.
World class. This one. I think yeah, I'm sure it was. It's 85, so would have been world class, wouldn't it?
He was there like 84 to 87 or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I don't recall that much about this one. I'll see if I recall it as I'm saying it. So they tie up, fucking clean break by each of them. A couple of tie up. Parsons takes the head. They run a little spot. Oh yeah, I remember it actually. They run a little spot with ends up in a headlock takedown by Parsons, working the head. They do. He works that headlock takedown fucking brilliantly, working the head. They do another spot, beautiful. I think he does a beautiful drop kick. Parsons. So VC like bumps out, turns around straight into the headlock takedown again, working the head like proper, like working it. Then VC like lifts him up as if he's going to give him like an atomic drop as he's still in the headlock, but fucking Parsons just turns it into another headlock takedown to go straight down with it. Then they work their way up as he's still in the headlock. They go to a corner as like the referee's getting him to break it. VC gives him a couple of shots to the guts. Fucking eye rake for a little bit of heat. VC nailing him fucking for a minute or so. Whips him off the ropes, gives him a back elbow, kablam. And then before you know it, Parsons like, I've had enough of that. I'll be back in control now. So there he goes, back in control. A little bit longer than the first match, but he soon got back in control. And then he hits a big back body drop and then fucking whips him off the ropes, goes for the back elbow. VC ducks the back elbow, but then he hits him with a massive line for the 3 count. So I'm guessing the big clotheslines is finished, isn't it?
Seemed to be. Yeah, seemed to be.
But it looked pretty fucking vicious, the line though, like proper meaty. But yeah, it was okay. It was all right. Like my second 2 matches I feel are a lot better. But these first 2 were mainly all King Parsons, to be honest. But I can't. It was probably a bit better than the first match, I reckon. Actually, this one, I like the way they. I mean, the first one was all right, like how he worked the arm and stuff, and he just stayed on the arm. This one's a similar one, but with a head. But probably just put this one just above it, I think. But both of them are all right though. So yeah.
Sweet. This one's from the Global Wrestling Federation. I put the name into YouTube, and full episodes come up as well if it's listed in the comments, and if it's the name said, it'll pop up. So I didn't know who he was against or anything. I just wanted 4 different promotions, so I thought this is ideal. So I didn't know who he was against, but I thought whoever he's on with, I'll have him, and it just turns out to be a 2.5 minute sort of squash. It's episode 130, so I guess it was the later days of Global. So probably before my last match. Sorry, probably after my last match, to be fair, but I did it in this order. It's against someone called Brian Hennig, who probably got given the Hennig name because he had curly blonde hair. He was like a chubby Mr. Perfect. Like bright luminous kind of suit, and curly blonde. He was Iceman was a villain here. It's the only show of the 3 of the 4 that he was a villain on. And he was with a manager called Dr. Baboose.
Yeah.
Coming to the ring, ripping signs and shit. The match gets straight underway. There's no fucking pomp and circumstance or bullshit. King offers the hand. Old Brian Hennig falls for it. What a dickhead. He gets kicked from the Iceman, and then he just fucking unloads fists and he's fucking pounding him then. King is strutting around all fucking like very Ric Flair-y, with the walk. he just uses the ropes and sticks his fucking finger in his eyeball and stomps his head, and then he headbutts him for the finish. That is literally it.
Right.
This wasn't a match that I would have chosen, but I wanted to see another promotion, and this was just available. So I kind of went in blind. So you can't blame me for picking a shit match. It wasn't shit. It totally got him over. You know, they booed him out of the building. Good match to me. You know, that's a good match, isn't it? You know, that's your shot to show off to. And but there was just nothing to it. So you can't judge based on that, really. But yeah, I always like Global, you know.
Yeah.
And a Global. And they're still friends of ours now, you know, the new people that run it. And it's the reason we got their belt. So yeah, I always enjoyed it. It was like reminiscing from the Dallas Sportatorium that wouldn't have happened without them, really, once USWA finished. So yeah, good on.
My next one's Mid-South, 1985. I don't have a date, and it's against Kamala.
Oh, beautiful.
So I thought, okay, Parsons might be fucking selling a little bit more in this one.
You'd have thought so.
Yeah. So, and he did, to be fair, a lot more. I don't think he had an option, but so they go straight at it with fucking Parsons avoiding everything that Kamala's, so like Kamala's throwing fucking punches or whatever, and Parsons is just avoiding, like ducking under and like cracking him, you know, like basically just showing that he's a lot quicker in the early going. Nailing Kamala. Kamala fucking misses a big splash in the corner. Literally, all Parsons, like it's mainly all Kamala. So Kamala's fucking trying to catch him at the beginning. He finally does get him in the corner, runs at him, but misses a splash. So fucking Kamala's hit the buckle. Parsons in control, and then runs into a boot in the corner. Boom. And now Kamala's in control. And that is literally the heat started there. So a little bit at the start when Parsons was in control, just avoiding Kamala. Then he runs into the boot. It's all Kamala now. Got him on the floor, choking him. Fucking, he does like the nerve hold. I put nerve hold on the tip as he's just grabbing his fucking on the floor. You know, that old chestnut. Parsons keeps fighting back, but keeps getting thrown down by the hair and shit like that. Right. I've put here as well, like big match. This, like, it feels like it's an important match. Like the crowd are like right into it. And not a lot has happened, but
for Mid-South, they were kind of two, you know, one of the top 5 baby faces and the top 5 villains, weren't they? Doubtless.
Yeah, so, definitely. You know,
it's bound to be semi-final or main event.
Yeah, it just felt real, like it felt big, like it was a big deal kind of thing. Yeah, Parsons fighting, you know, doing like little comebacks here and there. He finally does come back, hits some strikes, hits a drop kick, and then after the drop kick, fucking Hercules Hernandez runs in, DQ there and there. So Hercules is fucking helping Kamala. But I've put it's really good. This like the crowd are eating it up, like fucking going crazy. Kamala goes to the top like he's gonna fuck up Parsons. Butch Reed now comes in to even the score. Fucking grabs Kamala from the top. Fucking flares him off the top. Boom. Fucking and then
that's 4 beefy motherfuckers, isn't it?
You are?
That's 4 beefy men right there, isn't it?
Fucking isn't it? That I guess it might work.
Wouldn't want to piss any of them off.
I know. I think it might have been going towards a tag or a story developing because obviously of the situation that's happening. So once he throws Kamala off the top, gives him a drop kick from behind, Kamala goes out, and then it's left with Butch Reed and Parsons in the ring. Like, but yeah, it was just I think it was going to just work in an angle or something, but it was fucking brilliant. I liked it. There wasn't a lot to the match, but you could tell by the crowd that they're into it and they were following what was going on and everything. But yeah, it was really, really good. That enjoyed it.
Gosh, my last one from Herb Abrams UWF. So this would have been before the global one, but it's just the order I watched them in. Versus Colonel De Beers. So as soon as I thought Colonel De Beers, I thought this is going to be a racist angle, because that is what Colonel De Beers did. And then on the commentary, it was Bruno and Craig DeGeorge doing commentary, and they explained that a few weeks ago, a referee, Colonel De Beers, refused to use the referee, a black fella, and King Parsons just happened to be this referee's cousin. So the referee brought the cousin in to put right.
I feel like we're fucking.
I think you watched an episode with that referee during the time we did UWF on the episodes.
That's the one. Yeah. Who? What? Yeah, and it was Colonel De Beers. I can't remember what black wrestler it was though.
Oh, was it a wrestler? Okay, but this is a story of the referee getting kicked out.
So, because the one I watched was a black ref, but it was like a black wrestler that came down to like, I can't remember who it was now, but might have been the same fucking match, to be honest.
But this isn't like, we didn't see the referee or anything. This is just like previously in UWF history. This is the blow off match kind of thing. Now the rules for this whole thing are dead as fuck. Now I don't know. There's no reason, because there's nothing wrong with the match at all. I mean, Colonel De Beers, Ed Wazowski, is fucking brilliant, and Parsons is an over babyface. I'm putting it down to, is it a little bit too northern? Is it a little bit too southern for that northern crowd? The style, maybe? Or is it just Herb Abrams' booking is just fucking confusing? Or is it the whole angle was a little bit inappropriate and made people feel inappropriate?
I'd probably go with that one if I was to bet. I mean, I'm not a betting man at the moment with the bookies being shot and all that, but if I was to bet, that's what I'd say. I would say because as a fan as well, when I watched that angle, it was I'm not saying it made me uncomfortable, but I can see being there, it might have made fans uncomfortable seeing it, because it's like, I think you kind of
thing.
You are
a little bit too. People say, "Oh, wrestling and reality," but sometimes things are a little bit too fucking reality, aren't they?
Yeah, as well. I also think that it is like, sometimes you go to wrestling shows and stuff to avoid reality, if you know what I mean. So you don't want to see, like, yeah, it's based on reality, but there's a lot of shit in reality that you'd rather escape from. So when you go to a wrestling show to get away from that, you kind of don't want to see it. Like, right, you know what I mean? So
I'm not like, the wrestling should look real, but the shit that goes around it, just enhanced pantomime, isn't it? But any old road up. There's nothing wrong with the match at all. Like I said, two very fucking capable wrestlers. This is the one I wrote most about, and to be fair, it might have outdone the other match I watched. Quality wise, it was just a crowd that you don't get the same kind of atmosphere when you watch it. Any old road up, off we go. Colonel De Beers straight to the eyes and unloads early on. Bosh, have some of that, Iceman King Parsons. Posting, the whip's reversed. Colonel De Beers comes out and lines De Beers. There's some massive chops from Iceman. Fucking have some of that. Jesse Hernandez, I've written as the referee, who is literally in every fucking wrestling promotion you could ever watch in the 90s. If you put fucking wrestling on in the 90s, that fucker was on it, refereeing. Colonel cuts Iceman off with a hair, and then he does that hair pull. There's three things that I really liked in this match that were relatively unusual. One is that, when they hold the air and pull them up, I really fucking love that. I pop for that. There's two more a bit later on. Ropes with the eyes again. I've written quite a crowd for about the 14th time. Ed to the buckles blocked, and in goes De Beers, and then fucking De Beers is out the ring. Fuck this, I've had enough. There's a chase around the ring. Back in the ring gets the Colonel. He hits the ropes. There's 2 tackles on the Iceman. Third attempt, Iceman leaps, and a big line from the King. Now, here's 2 of the other fucking unique spots that I really enjoyed. Like, these are more unique than that hairpull. That hairpull I just popped for. One of them, tiny bit later on, after Iceman bumps the Colonel, he cuts Iceman off again. He puts him in like literally nothing, like half a kind of full Nelson kind of thing, but then throws him to the ropes forward first, so it chokes him. I thought that was right cool. Like, simple as fuck, but I mean, who does that? No one, do they? No fucker does that. Like, right, real close to the ropes, and just go and like just bounce them off. Boing, brilliant. The other one was not long after this. He has him in a headlock and just drops to his arse. So he like bulldogs him, but without the run.
Like on the spot,
Yeah, that's cool. You know, it's for me. For the beauty of wrestling is the simple things, and when simple things are done good like that, they're brilliant, aren't they? Like, some people might think, you know, if I say, "Oh, headlock," and then just drop to your ass, some people might look at me like I pissed on their kids Christmas morning. Like, what the fuck's that? But it's fucking genius. If it's done well, it's amazing. Any old road up, chin lock by the Colonel, big long fucker. King fights up, bish bash bosh, hit the ropes, but he's met with a knee. Colonel works the leg for a bit, then changes his mind. Probably thought he was getting nowhere with that fucker. King chops Boosh, you know, a fair few times. He loves them chops. And then he does like a fucking alley punches and does the shuffle. About 5 big headbutts. Sends the Colonel to the ropes, comes back, leaps, and it like, you know, that butt where he puts his fucking bum in your face? Bosh, have some of that. Colonel's then tied to the ropes. He don't bump off the butt, ties himself in the ropes. Colonel's still, King's still nailing the Colonel whilst he's caught in the ropes. Bruno's like, "Oh, he shouldn't be doing that. He could disqualify, blah, blah, blah." King hits the ropes the other side. Colonel releases himself and Clark fucking moves to one side and out goes the King. So he's tied in the ropes. King hits the other side. Out gets Brody, fucking Colonel Brody. Colonel De Beers, out the ring he goes. Excuse me. Iceman keeps trying to get back in the ring, but he gets knocked off a load of times. Colonel thinks he's got it fucking nailed here. He's well happy. Iceman looks fucked at this point. Back up on the apron again. King blocks the Colonel's buckle attempt on the outside on the apron. Sunset flip attempt over the ropes, but the Colonel moves out of the way, so he just bumps. In essence, the same bump whether he's got someone or not. So it fascinates me, that shit does. Like a missed drop kick hurts, but a drop kick doesn't.
Yeah.
Then, so the Colonel moves, fucking bump, bomb. Colonel then tries a suplex, but the King slides down his back. Small package, done. Really good match. Very much enjoyed it. Just dead. Like, nothing at all. The punches just weren't fucking. Maybe they turned the sound down because it was cheap TV, weren't it? So maybe they turned the sound down just so they could get the commentary over the top. But a really good match. I like Colonel Brody. I keep saying Colonel Brody. He's a British wrestler. Colonel De Beers. Colonel Brody and Colonel De Beers are very similar. Like South African.
I sometimes get them mixed up. Like, just the names and stuff. And when I see them on DVDs and shit, I always fucking call them like the other fucking.
They're almost identical, same gimmick. You know, yeah. But I'd say the best match out of the 4. Right, you got one more.
Yeah, this one. I was just thinking, all my matches they got better as they went along, and this one is the best one of the lot. This one, he's a heel. 13th December '88, AWA SuperClash III against Brickhouse Brown.
Oh yeah, I have SuperClash 3 on DVD.
Yeah, this was the best one of the lot, I thought. I haven't really seen him as a heel though before.
The problem with SuperClash 3 was they had 418 matches, and only really the Kerry Von Erich and Jerry Lawler match lasted more than like 6 minutes. There were
Right.
some really fucking short matches just to get them in, I suppose, wasn't it?
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed this. This was really good. So fucking he shoves Brown. Brown shoves him back. Fucking Parsons falls on his fucking ass. Gets a good pop from the crowd. They fucking tie up and go into a little tiny run spot with ends up with a drop kick by Brown, which was fucking right good drop kick. Parsons powders, comes back in. Fucking finally Brown takes the head, shot off. Couple of tackles by Brown. Parsons sleeps. Brown does a yeah. Parsons sleeps. Brown hits the ropes. Fucking comes back. Parsons goes down as if to go for like a backdrop. Brown fucking does the weirdest fucking backslide I've ever seen in the history of backslides. I thought it was a fucking neck breaker at first because he just fucking swung him, and then I was like, "Hey, up!" And then it just kind of goes into a pin. So I don't know if it was a fuck up or if it was a very unique fucking maneuver, but it worked anyway because he ended up pinning him. So there we go. So that was a fucking 2 count on that one. Parsons powders after that one again. Comes back in. They go into another tiny little sweet sequence with a fucking great knee to the face by Parsons. Like, like fucking Triple H, like the running knee thing that he used to do.
Always kind of knee.
Yeah, and it was beautiful, beautiful. And then that starts the heat really on Brown. Little comeback with a crossbody by Brown, gets a 2 count. Parsons back in control. Parsons goes for the pile driver. Brown fucking blocks it and throws him over his fucking shoulders. Brown starts to fight back, gives him a fucking big elbow, and then a big flying type elbow, like a Tito Santana type forearm situation. Looked fucking legit, that did. Oh yeah, after the flying elbow, fucking Parsons, the ref's counting, but he's like 1, 2, and Parsons' foot's on the rope. Oh yeah, this was the finish. This was pretty good. This simple old school finish, but fucking the type of finish we like. So he hits the flying fucking Tito forearm thing. 1, 2, feet on the rope. Fucking Brown's like celebrating because he thought he'd fucking got it going and he thought it was a 3. But as he's celebrating, Parsons gets the loaded glove. Brown comes over, pop, kaplow, right on the schnoz. Fucking 1, 2, 3. That was it. Beautiful finish. Perfect timing. The match was good. It was a bit back and forth here and there. Both of them had a lot of shit in it. But yeah, it was real good. Can't fault that one. That was the best one of the lot.
Yeah. So Brickhouse gets your top spot. Colonel De Beers gets mine. Iceman, yeah, fucking winner that was. Wasn't expecting it from you either. Which is even like you said, it's the beauty of it, isn't it? We watch people that we probably wouldn't choose to watch on a fucking Saturday evening when we've got nothing else to do. So yeah, it's cool. We're doing AWA next. We do that Thursday instead of Wednesday. Slight change this week. Friday is tag team day, and you've chosen the Eliminators, which is like I thought Iceman King Parsons was pretty fucking random choice from you, right? But then I thought he is watching a shitload of World Class. He likes his Mid-South. That's all right. We can get away. We're like, we'll get away. I kind of understand where he's coming from. And then fucking Friday goes, oh, we're doing Eliminators tag. What the fuck? Where did that come from? But,
I don't know where that came from, to be fair. I don't even fucking like ECW. But I always thought fucking both of them were like very talented guys that didn't need ECW to be fucking good. You know what I mean? Like you get some people that you just can't picture outside of ECW because that's what they are. But them two, I think, were fucking. They were good athletes. They were good talent. So I thought, see what we can. Wow.
Next Monday, then it's my singles pick. Like I said, we do pick some right randoms. But I've gone for someone a little bit more mainstream. But it's somebody that I know we both enjoy. And I really don't think it surprises me that we haven't done him yet. To be fair, Mr. Perfect.
Ah, there we go.
Well, Kurt Hennig in general.
Yeah.
I had a look on YouTube yesterday because every week I have like 14 different picks before I get to the one I actually pick. And I had a look yesterday, and it's going to be so fucking hard to pick 4 matches because Mr. Perfect didn't have shit matches, did he?
No, and I've actually got a Mr. Perfect DVD set in there, and it's 5 volumes. Fuck knows how many discs, but it's 5 volumes, and it covers his whole career from AWA right up to like 2002 till he returned to WWE. So fucking, it's in fucking loads discs and discs.
I was going through the YouTube, and within fucking the first scroll, I saw about fucking 3 that I know will be min. You know, I'm a massive mark for Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and look at. I don't know whether to try and look for ones that I've probably not seen before, or stick to the fucking ones that I know are amazing. But we'll cross that bridge in a week. Thursday AWA, Friday the Eliminators ECW, and Mr. Perfect Monday. We'll see you then.